The humiliation wasn't supposed to be this public, not this visible, not at the biggest sporting event on earth. Yet somehow, as the entire world prepared to celebrate the 2026 FIFA World Cup, one story began quietly spreading behind the scenes, a story not about football, trophies, or legendary goals, but about a prince who allegedly discovered that the doors he once walked through effortlessly were no longer opening. And for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, that realization may have been more painful than anyone imagined. For years, Harry and Meghan built an image around influence, visibility, and global relevance. Wherever cameras gathered, speculation followed. Wherever elite guests appeared, their names were often expected to be somewhere on the list. But according to growing reports and royal commentators, the world's biggest football tournament delivered a message that was impossible to ignore. FIFA allegedly wasn't interested. Not this time, not for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And if that claim is true, the implications reach far beyond a simple sporting event. The 2026 FIFA World Cup officially kicked off on June 11, 2026. Millions of fans flooded cities across America, creating an atmosphere unlike anything seen in years. Celebrities, athletes, politicians, billionaires, and global icons all began gathering around football's grandest stage. It was a kind of event that naturally attracts powerful names. Yet according to reports, Harry found himself looking in from the outside instead of being welcomed inside.
Harry being snubbed with FIFA games.
Yes, I'm not quite good at this sport. Apparently there's a big football soccer event.
You've heard of it?
The World Cup.
Yes, that's right.
And it's happening here in the United States of America, because when you think football, you do think America. Absolutely not. But they're doing it here.
Right.
And Harry was rumored to be going. Absolutely not. He's not going.
What makes this story so fascinating is the contrast. There was a time when Prince Harry wasn't merely invited to major international events, he was often considered one of the attractions. Organizers wanted him there. Audiences loved him. His reputation as the cheerful and approachable prince made him one of the monarchy's most popular figures. People called him the Happy Prince. His smile generated headlines. His presence generated excitement. His attendance generated prestige. But somewhere along the way, the narrative changed. Critics claim that Harry transformed from a universally admired royal into one of the most polarizing public figures in modern celebrity culture. Supporters view him as a truth teller. Detractors view him as a source of endless controversy. Either way, one thing became impossible to ignore. Wherever Harry goes now, attention often follows for reasons that have nothing to do with the event itself. And that may be exactly the problem. Imagine being FIFA. Imagine spending years preparing the biggest sporting event on the planet. Billions of viewers, hundreds of millions in sponsorships, endless media coverage. Would organizers want headlines focused on football? Or would they want headlines focused on royal drama, family feuds, memoir revelations, and Sussex controversies? Suddenly, the situation begins to look very different.
Harry is the royal family's dirty secret. They're ashamed of him. They consider him dangerous and toxic. If you meet him, you do so behind closed doors.
The Duke of Sussex is one of a number of high-profile figures behind this legal action over allegations of unlawful information gathering. Kinsey, within minutes of taking to the stand, he took a dig at the royal family.
Then another name enters the picture, a name that changes everything: David Beckham. While Harry allegedly found himself increasingly disconnected from football's inner circles, Beckham seemed to become even more deeply embedded within them. Football isn't simply part of Beckham's past. Football is his kingdom. His influence stretches across generations, continents, organizations, and power structures. He isn't merely respected within the sport, he is one of the faces of the sport itself. And as Beckham's influence rose, Harry's connection appeared to weaken. That contrast didn't go unnoticed. Observers began pointing toward an uncomfortable reality. One prince appeared to be losing influence, while another kind of prince, the prince of football, was becoming stronger than ever. Beckham was collecting honors, expanding relationships, building alliances, appearing alongside powerful figures, remaining connected to football's most important conversations. Meanwhile, Harry allegedly found himself further from the action than many expected.
Former England captain David Beckham has been formally knighted by King Charles at Windsor Castle, and we can bring you those pictures right now.
Sir David Beckham, for services to sport and to charity.
Yeah, as you just heard, the 50-year-old honoured for services to sport and charity after being selected in the King's birthday honours list. He knelt before the monarch, who touched his shoulders with a sword to formalise the induction before the pair shared a joke. in his illustrious career.
The question wasn't simply whether Harry had been excluded. The bigger mystery was why. Why would a figure who once stood near the center of international attention suddenly find himself disconnected from football's biggest stage? Why would someone who once represented royal glamour allegedly become a liability rather than an asset? And why do so many fingers keep pointing toward one particular fractured friendship? Because behind this story sits an old wound that never fully healed. A friendship, a fallout, a growing divide between Prince Harry and David Beckham.
Meghan Markle is livid that Prince Harry was stuck in the 8th row at the NBA final game. Hello, Darby, my little doggy. She was not happy at all about this, so insiders say that there were a lot of celebrities on the front row. Courtside, Timothy Chalamet. We also saw Ben Stiller. Harry, surprisingly, was at the game. Nobody's exactly sure why he was there. However, he was stuck on the 8th row.
According to multiple royal commentators and reports discussed over the years, tensions allegedly began when suspicions emerged regarding media leaks. What started as whispers reportedly evolved into accusations. Those accusations reportedly reached Beckham himself. And when trust disappears between powerful people, relationships often collapse faster than anyone expects. The damage was immediate. The damage was personal, and the damage may have changed everything. As Harry's relationship with Beckham allegedly deteriorated, another relationship was quietly strengthening in the background. Prince William and David Beckham were becoming increasingly aligned. Their public appearances, charitable interests, and mutual support created an image of growing trust. The connection looked natural, comfortable, strategic. Then came an image that some royal watchers couldn't stop discussing. Beckham standing closer and closer to William's orbit while Harry appeared further and further away.
Because of his falling out with David Beckham. David Beckham is going to own this.
Can David Beckham keep someone out?
I don't think he can, but I think they don't want to put him in an awkward position.
Why do these people hate each other?
Well, Harry allegedly accused David of leaking stories about him. So they thought David and Victoria were leaking stories, William and Harry, that you have to pick a side. And David wants that knighthood, and so he picks William. He's not going to not pick the king. And so they've had a terrible falling out. The football match, the soccer match, starts, I think, on Friday. Don't expect to see Harry there, but expect to see David Beckham all over this. And he's going to make a ton of money because he's doing every commercial from chewing gum to deodorant.
And that is where the story starts becoming truly explosive. Because if William attends World Cup matches, many believe Beckham could easily be sitting nearby. Two influential figures, two powerful brands, two men whose relationship appears stronger than ever. The deeper observers looked into the Beckham-Sussex fallout, the more uncomfortable the story became. Because this wasn't just about football anymore. It wasn't even just about the World Cup. It was about relationships, loyalty, influence, and the consequences of decisions made years earlier. According to reports that circulated widely among royal commentators, the friendship between the Sussexes and the Beckhams began unraveling after suspicions emerged that Victoria Beckham was allegedly sharing information with journalists. Whether those suspicions were accurate or not almost became irrelevant. The accusation itself reportedly caused damage that could not easily be repaired. Harry allegedly confronted David Beckham regarding the matter, and insiders claimed Beckham was furious at the suggestion that his family would betray friends in such a way. Trust, once shattered, rarely returns in its original form. And from that moment onward, many royal watchers noticed something changing. Public warmth cooled. Shared appearances became rarer. The friendship that once looked genuine appeared to fade into silence. And in royal circles, silence often says more than words ever could. Then came another incident that many commentators continue to reference whenever discussing the collapse of the relationship. During a visit to Australia, Beckham reportedly expected a meeting with Harry connected to football matters. According to reports, that meeting never happened. Harry allegedly failed to show up, leaving Beckham disappointed and frustrated. To some observers, it looked like a scheduling conflict. To others, it looked like disrespect. But regardless of interpretation, the incident reportedly deepened existing tensions. Suddenly, what had once been a minor disagreement began looking like a pattern. One misunderstanding became two. Two became several. And before long, a friendship that once connected two globally famous couples appeared completely fractured. Meanwhile, something else was happening quietly behind palace walls. As Harry's connection to Beckham allegedly weakened, William's connection appeared to grow stronger. David Beckham publicly supported William's initiatives. Victoria Beckham's designs appeared on Princess Catherine with increasing frequency. Their families seemed comfortable within the same circles. The symbolism was impossible to miss. One brother appeared to be moving closer to football royalty while the other appeared to be moving further away. And symbols matter in elite circles. Relationships are often measured not by official statements, but by who appears beside whom when cameras start flashing. That is why many observers believe the World Cup story feels so devastating. It represents something much larger than attendance at a football tournament. It symbolizes changing status, changing influence, changing relevance. A few years ago, Harry might have been considered one of the natural celebrity ambassadors of a global event hosted in America. His royal title, military background, charitable work, and international recognition made him a powerful attraction. Yet now commentators openly debate whether his presence creates more complications than benefits. That shift is astonishing. The prince, who once attracted positive headlines, now allegedly risks generating unwanted distractions, and major organizations are increasingly protective of their brands. As football's biggest stars gathered around the 2026 World Cup, names like David Beckham and Lionel Messi naturally became central figures in the conversation. But Prince Harry's absence created its own conversation. Not because he was expected to score goals, not because he was expected to lift trophies, but because his absence highlighted how dramatically public perception can change. The contrast between past and present became impossible to ignore. Once welcomed everywhere, now allegedly excluded from one of the world's most prestigious sporting spectacles. For many royal commentators, that transformation is the real story, and perhaps that is what makes this entire saga so fascinating. Because beneath the football headlines lies a much bigger question. Is this merely a temporary setback for Harry, or is it evidence of a deeper shift that can no longer be reversed? Institutions evolve, alliances change, public favor rises and falls, yet few transformations happen as visibly as this one. While William appears to gain influence on the international stage, Harry continues facing questions about his place in the world he left behind. As crowds roar inside packed stadiums and cameras focus on football's greatest moments, another drama continues unfolding far from the pitch. A prince watching from the sidelines, a football legend standing near the center of the action, a broken friendship that may have altered everything, and hanging over it all is a question that nobody seems able to answer with certainty. Has Harry simply lost access to one tournament, or has he lost something far bigger, something that may never fully return? Because if football has already made its choice, the consequences could extend far beyond the final whistle. The story may not be ending at all. In fact, it may only be entering its most revealing chapter.